All right. Welcome. If you're here live with us today or you're watching this at a future date, my name is Paul Roberts. I got my great friend Brandon Scribner with me and my good friend Angie Owens. We're going to talk to Angie and ask her some questions. Before we do that, I just want to share a few things with you. We have just completed our second, can you believe it, Angie? Today was our week 12 of our second 90-day program. You were on the first 90-day
Wow.
program. Just finished. Isn't that crazy? Our next one starts January 6th. We're very excited about that. But part of this 90-day self-leadership 101 begins with many things. And this is something I want you to write down and remember forever. Whenever someone's trying to teach you something, whenever anybody's talking to you about anything, I always want you to remember this. What you know is keeping you from what you need to know. Angie, have a dear friend, Pastor Tim Goad, that has taught us that over and over and over again. Because when he's talking to me and he's trying to teach me something, Angie, he's like, Paul, what you know right now is keeping you from teaching you what you need to know. And it's so true because so often I will talk to people about building a business because I'm on a mission. I'm on a war path, if you will, to teach people how to build a business in real estate. I built a very successful business in insurance and annuities. I sold it for multi-millions, forever transformed my life. And now I'm doing real estate. And what's breaking my heart is the amount of people in real estate that think they're building a business, but they're really self-employed. We'll get into that at a later date, but I'm on a mission. And every time I talk to someone, I say, listen, you should really build a business, especially with our platform. And they'll say to me, Angie, I need to focus on transactions. I'm like, I understand that, but understand this. If you bring somebody into the business, you will do more because you have somebody looking at you. Every one of us, me, Angie, and Brandon have children. And we will tell you when we had kids, we changed the way we thought about things, the way we looked at things, the way we behaved. Why? We had somebody watching us. And it's powerful when you have somebody watching you, especially in business, because it makes you perform at a level you didn't think possible. I know when I hired Angie 20 years ago to join my business, she's extremely sharp. She worked for a big insurance company. She knew way more about insurance than I did, and she's way smarter than me. And so what did that do? I performed at a higher level. By the way, I was still pretty brand new in insurance when I brought Angie in. And then Angie, of course, brought in about 500 people on her team. She exploded. She was massive. But the point is this, when you bring somebody in, you get better. Okay. Anyhow, remember that what you know is keeping you from what you need to know. The part of the 90-day self-leadership 101 is this. You must lead yourself first in order to lead other people. You have to lead yourself first. My mother was a great example of this. I know Angie from watching her raise 5 boys. She's a great example of this. Brandon, she would be at football games, baseball games, and she'd be in the stands making sure she wasn't missing the kids, but at the same time on the telephone setting appointments, on the same time talking to people. And she would, I
I heard
remember you
about the
take,
legend. I heard
yeah,
about the legend. She's a legend, Angie. I love to hearing that story.
but she led herself. So what did she do? Well, she set her kids up for success, just like my mother did. And I got to watch her earn a college degree. She got several degrees because she opened her own private practice as a psychologist. And she always was a little frustrated with me because I didn't do well in school and I did not do well in college. I did not go to college. I did not graduate from college. And I would always tell her, listen, you gave me a PhD in life. I got to watch you. She led herself, therefore she led me. Part of the 90-day self-leadership is tracking your numbers, being personal growth, even leadership, is self awareness. And this is what I'll tell you. Until you join our community, you're not really self aware of what you're not doing. Angie, you came into our 90-day program and you kind of made everybody look foolish because you just did so well. And that's why you're on tonight. But even you, as great as you were of making sure you were doing all the things, you did open houses every weekend, sometimes two, sometimes three, maybe four. I don't remember. But you were crazy because you had no real estate experience. You jumped full force in. You did not allow what you knew to hold you back from what you needed to know. And you just went crazy. You had this childlike faith and went for it. But even then, getting on the call once a week and sharing your numbers, it still made you self-aware of like, you could probably do more. That be a fair assessment?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
And Brandon, he's on the other spectrum. He's been in the business for a while. He's an icon producer. He's amazing. In fact, him and I were talking just minutes before this call, and I think he got 2 contracts today, and he's getting another deal here, another deal there. I think he rolled out of bed and there was a transaction on the floor or something like that.
That's true.
But even someone at his level, would you also agree, like having to like, oh my gosh, were those my numbers last week? It would made you self-aware. Is that correct? Would that be a fair
Yeah.
assessment?
Yeah, absolutely. Going back to it's like, the thought of you could always do more, or it's a sense of I thought I did a lot today, but in reality, I didn't do much. I didn't do incoming producing activities. And just being in the program, so this is my second time taking it, right? And just being in the program within these 90 days already, I've already noticed a difference. Paul, you said it yourself today. I just got 2 contracts. It didn't just happen because I did the work yesterday. It's everything I was doing throughout this entire time and being on the call with other people. You're not just accountable to yourself, you're accountable to the other people that's on this call. So it's a collective thing that we're doing, and it's awesome. It's beautiful, man. So that's a long-winded answer to your question, but I think everyone feels the brunt of it.
Yeah. No, it's beautiful. And that's what I'm speaking to right now because you will perform harder for a group of people than you will for yourself. You'll perform harder for your kids than you would yourself. Like if Angie didn't have 5 kids, she could just sleep. She could take a day off, no big deal. But because she has 5 kids, because she has this community, because she has this great responsibility, she works harder. And I want to share a story with you that's always touched my heart. It gives me chills every time I tell it. I've told it from stage. I told it this morning. I tell it all the time. And it still gives me chills when I tell the story. But Anthony Kiedis, the lead singer of Red Hot Chili Peppers, wrote a book called Scar Tissue. And it was his journey of sobriety. And he was 11 months sober at the time. And he was about to throw it away. He couldn't take it. He was done. He's like, the heck with this. Being sober is too hard. I'm giving up. I'm paraphrasing. He didn't say these things, but just read the book and you'll see. But he was going to leave his house. He called his handlers because he's got enough money to do that. And he said, hey, take care of my dog Buster. That was the name of his dog. Take care of my dog Buster because he knew he was going to go on about a 2-week binge. And he just wanted to disappear and get wasted and go to a horrible, seedy motel in Culver City, California. If you've ever been to California, you know that's not the best of places to be. Think about that. You know, he's got this beautiful home with handlers, people taking care of him, and he wants to disappear into that, right? As he's backing out of the driveway, he stops himself and he go any further. And he's wait a minute. On Wednesday morning, it is my job to set out the chairs at AA, Alcoholics Anonymous. It's my job to set out the chairs at AA. He thought about it for a while. He pulled back into his garage. He called his handler, said, listen, I'm not going anywhere. Don't worry about Buster. I want you to think about that. I want you to think the magnitude of that for a second. He committed to a group of people that saved his life. So when I say things to people like, you need to build this business as your life depends on it, that's what I'm talking about. This man was about to throw everything away, but he didn't over some no-name people. You and I do not know who those people are. They're no-name people. These aren't elite Hollywood people that he hung out with. They're just average people that he made a commitment to and said, wait a minute. And when I read that, I got chills. I thought, oh my gosh, for a couple of reasons. One is I said, I need to build a community like that. I need to build a community. This is 15 years ago, by the way. I need to build a community where everybody saves someone's life. Angie knows my story. She watched me get sober. She watched me, do stupid things. She has seen, Brandon, she's seen the bad stuff. I you from time to time, Brandon, I said, I'm so glad that you know me now. And she let me go through that horrible journey, but it ended up being a beautiful journey because I had a community that I was performing for and did not want to let them down anymore. Okay. And so when I say do it like your life depends on it, join a community like your life, you will at a higher level. It's incredible. Now I want you to think about this for a second. So here's a man, he's lead singer of one of the greatest rock and roll bands of all time. And here he is, and he's about to throw everything away. Just a couple of weeks before that, by the way, he was singing to 108,000 people in Mexico City. Think about that. You're up there performing. And you're watching people in the audience, Angie, mouth the words to they know the words. They know everything that you've put together, all the magic, all the beautiful songs. And it still wasn't giving him the connection he needed. Isn't that crazy to think about? His life even wasn't worth living for that. But why was his life worth living for? A group of people he made a commitment to. Think about it. My pastor tells me all the time, he goes, Paul, the world is connected more than it's ever been connected before through social media. Yet it's the most lonely it's ever been. Here's a man singing to 100,000 people, and he's lonely, but it was that small group of people that he committed to. And that's what this program's about. And that's the reason I'm so committed to it. And I'm just so proud of Angie. Both Brandon and I talked about you. The second go round, the second 12-week program, Angie, your ears, I hope they were buzzing. We were bragging about you. Angie, just tell us, because you're brand new. You were brand new to real estate. And you lit it up and you did something every week, whether it was an open house, whether it was a couple of open houses. I think once you did 2 open houses in one day. Is that correct?
Oh, yeah. And then I did it the next day too.
So tell us a little bit about, yourself, and you're still busy. You still got tons of things going on in your life, but you were still trying to figure out real estate. And since then, you've had some transactions. Am I correct?
That's correct. Yep. I'm Angie Owens. My good friend Paul brought me into this business, which he brought me into the insurance business, as he told you. I'm forever grateful. I never thought that at age 53 that I would be switching careers. But hey, you can do it at any age. I'm telling you, as long as you got that willpower and that one. And so thought about real estate. I'm like, this is so exciting. Like I truly enjoy
going out, talking to people, finding homes for them. Like it's just absolute fun. It's not a job. It's not work. It is work. I'll tell you what the worst thing is in real estate. It's putting out your open house signs. Okay, and it might just be me because I put out 72 signs every time I have an open house. As long as you get the strategic part of it, then you're good. But yeah, that's the worst thing. So I just need to pay somebody. But yeah, I mean, I just went full force. I thought I can't be scared. You know, I go knocking on doors. I've never knocked on doors. I've done cold calls. I mean, I did calls before, but there's people like send in these things. They still tell you no and hang up the phone on you. But you know what? It's like you just keep trying and keep trying. It's the numbers. I might call 100 people and I might get one person that answers and says, okay, stop by. Let's talk. It only takes that one person. So all the other 99 that you went through, you can't think about those. But yeah, like I said, the best part of it is I'm having a blast doing it. And I'm having a blast doing it with other people. It's like, you know, Paul keep me accountable. Honestly, I was so nervous when I first did the 12 week because I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm new. Never really been on one of these calls for real estate. And then, you know, he would ask numbers or what I think that I can do. And if I did not hit them that week, I was letting you down. I was letting Brandon down. I felt like, you know, I was letting myself down. So I do love the whole fact of like, be accountable. That's the biggest thing. People are not accountable for things. And I try to be accountable. So yeah, it's painful, but that's what helped me. It's like, you know what? I got to keep going out there and doing the stuff that I'm doing. If
And
not,
that's the crazy thing is I want everybody on here to understand something she said that was so powerful is she felt she was letting me down. She felt like she was letting Brandon down. Let me tell you something about Angie. She doesn't need us. She's very successful. She's got so much talent, tons of talent. The woman could do anything she chose to do. But because there's a group that you're accountable to, because there's a community that you're accountable to. And if you're smart enough like her to hold to say, you know what? I'm not just going to say numbers just to say them. No, I'm going to say them and I'm going to get after it and make sure I don't let the team down. And that's that self-awareness that she has. And this program will teach you that self-awareness. You cannot learn this self-awareness by yourself. If you're all by yourself and you have no one to hold you accountable to those things, if the wind blows and it's a beautiful day, you know, let's go to the pool. By the way, she lives in Florida. She can go to the beach whenever she wants to. You know, got a gorgeous pool in her backyard. Yeah, I go back here. But thank you for joining the program. You've helped Brandon and I out tremendously because of your success and because of what you did. And again, she knew nothing about real estate, but she did the activity. And I watch people, Brandon, and if you would just add to this, Brandon, I watch people get into real estate and they want to learn everything about everything. They want to know what a 1031 exchange is. They want to know what this is, what that is, what this is, what that is. Angie didn't do that. She goes, what do I got to do? I said, activity. You'll figure it out as you're doing it. Brandon, you've been in the business longer than Angie and I have. You've seen the same thing, but you watched Angie do it completely a different way. By the way, Brandon, remember she beat people that had real estate experience.
She did.
Yeah.
And, you know, I just
Yeah.
want to give
So
you
just add to that.
Yeah, for sure. Now, you know, Angie, I want to give you your flowers again. Like just hearing the numbers and the things that you've done, like 72 signs, and then you do what, 2 open houses per weekend. You door knocked on some, and you got a pool in your backyard, so you don't even have to do that. Like that is amazing. I think they call it cojones, right? Like you got cojones, Angie. And I mean that in the best way possible. Right? Like you just kicked butt, and I just love that about you right there. Sorry, man. I just so much praise to Angie. I forgot your question, Paul. What was it, man?
You watch real estate agents, they'll
Yeah.
suffer learning and they'll go to every training, every, you know, networking event, all this kind of add to that in terms of just focus on IPA.
Yeah, for sure. And that's the shiny type thing, right? Like we think we need to know something in order to act, but that's not the case. You're going to learn more from your mistakes than you do from trying to read from a pamphlet. You're going to learn more from repetition, getting burned, or having these conversations multiple times, and you're going to sharpen it up. So all these activities, they're good and they have a place for it, but really what's going to make you money is how many people I meet, how many people I talk to, how many people I DM, how many people I don't care what you do, like how many people. I think that in itself, along with, let me go back to this. You can have so much knowledge, but if you don't do anything with it, what's the point? So why am I attending so many classes when I can't even master what I just attended last week? So activity solves all. And of course, Angie's a living proof right there. You heard her numbers. Paul, yourself, man, you don't have to do this, man, but you're over here helping us out. Like y'all are all about it. Y'all walked the walk before, so it's just an honor just, learning from y'all and hearing from your experiences. So thanks for putting this together.
You bet. And so that's the leadership self 101. Leadership is really building a business like your life depends on it. That's the second program. So January 6th, we will begin. If you're interested, you can put it in the chats that you're interested. How do I get signed up for it? Let me tell you this. Are you ready? It's absolutely free. We do not charge for it. My good friend Brandon likes to say free 99, FREE 99. And because it is free. I don't know how long it'll be free, but there's more to the program than what we've discussed. There's a lot of things I will do for you. I will cold call for you. I will help you build a business. I will call, if you're an existing real estate agent, I will call 10 people that you have sold a home to, listed by whatever you did. I will call them and edify you and build you up. There's a lot of things I'll do. No one else does that. You will not have a brokerage out there that does that. So there's a lot more to the program than what we've shared. I just want to give you some highlights of why you should join. It doesn't matter if you're part of our brokerage or not. You can be part of a brokerage outside of us. I will not ask you to join our brokerage. What I believe is after 12 weeks, you will join. I will play hard to get. I'm not going to ask you. I'm going to add value to your life to where I think to the point where you're going to say, you know what, I want to be part of this, and which is cool. It talks about how you building. Here's the deal. Don't get worked up. Well, I don't want to train everybody. Don't worry. Brandon and I have a program. We will get all your new people started. You go on and do your transactions. You go on and focus, and Brandon and I will help your people get through the system. There's nothing you got to do. Okay. So I just want to end it with that. And again, thank you, Angie, for being our star pupil. You don't look 53, by the way. You look freaking amazing.
Y'all need to follow Brandon on all the social media because I'm telling you, I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't even know how he does it. Like, It's just like, I don't know. It's just, I guess it's like rolling out of bed for him. Like, just get up, brush my teeth and take a shower. Like constantly seeing that. I'm like, I hope I can live up to that. So
and you do. And you've done great with the social media because you were kind of forced because that's one of the metrics to do social media. You were not really excited about that part at all.
No.
But you've gotten really good at it. And you were happy at first, but you've gotten really, really good at it. Before I let Brandon wrap us up, that is this. I know we joke about Angie having crazy talent, Brandon having crazy talent. Understand they go through tough times too. They got, like I told you, Angie's got 5 kids for crying out loud. Brandon has a young daughter. He has, things that he's fighting. We joke about him rolling out of bed. But we all stuff. If we're alive, we're going through crap. Okay. Every one of us is. But the difference is that when they get around the group, they smile, they almost fake themselves out to being happy. If you had an opportunity to read my book, you'll understand that's how I ran a 50K. I was literally putting on a show, acting like I was okay every 3.2 miles. Read the book. You'll see. I literally, every 3.2 miles, I acted like I was okay. And then I finished a 50K. Insane. Right. So that's just the difference with people like Brandon and Angie is they just smile. And even though they're going through stuff, they just still smile and they trick themselves to being successful. Brandon, close us up, young man.
Let's go. You're having us on, Angie. Thank you for hopping on here again. And it's good to see you.
Nice to see you.
So close it out. Man, I think this is a perfect analogy right here. We're about to close out 2025 and we're about to walk into 2026, right? We're closing one chapter and going to be opening up another chapter. So what perfect time than January 6th for you to hop on our training call and just do some things, man. Like we were meant for a lot of things. So why don't we get together collectively, work on the goals that we say we're going to do, and let's level up our lives, because real estate is just a vehicle to get us where we want to go. Everyone wants to be somewhere. Everyone has dreams. Let's get there together. We said it before. If we're being accountable to other people other than ourselves, we are going to perform better. And Angie's a living proof of that. I'm a living proof of that. Paul's a living proof of that. We are making things happen. And it's not just selfishly for us. It's collective. The better we get, the better everyone else around us get. So why don't you want that in that ecosystem? So if this interests you, which I hope it does, January 6th, contact Paul for more information and let's get this party going, y'all.
Woo!